Predators have evolved to hunt with precision, speed, and power. But what if they had to do it in a low-gravity atmosphere? How would their bodies change? What new strategies would they develop? And would they still be as deadly? Gravity has shaped every predator on Earth. It determines how they run, jump, and strike. It controls their muscles, bones, and balance. But on a planet with weaker gravity, everything would be different. A lion that leaps just 10 feet on Earth might soar 50 feet in low gravity. A falcon that dives at 200 miles per hour could struggle to gain enough speed. A wolf's powerful legs might send it flying too far with each step. Predators would have to completely rethink how they move. Muscles built for powerful sprints could be useless in slow-motion bounds. Claws designed to grip the ground might find no traction. Balance would become a challenge with every movement. Ambush predators that rely on short bursts of speed could struggle. Cheetahs, for example, use gravity to keep their paws on the ground. Without enough downward force, their stride could become clumsy and inefficient. A chase that should last seconds might take minutes. Prey would have more time to escape, forcing predators to adapt. Some hunters might become more patient, relying on endurance rather than speed. Others could develop new ways to launch themselves at their targets. Low gravity could also affect stealth. On Earth, big cats stalk silently by keeping their bodies close to the ground. In low gravity, a slight movement might send them drifting upward. They might have to evolve new hunting techniques that rely on floating rather than pouncing. But what about aerial predators? Birds of prey rely on gravity to swoop down on their targets. On a low-gravity world, a dive might be slower and less forceful. Would they have to flap more to gain speed? Or would they evolve new, powerful wings that let them slice through thinner air? A planet's atmosphere would play a key role in how predators hunt. If the air is thin, there would be less resistance to slow down movements. A striking predator might overshoot its target, missing entirely. But if the air is dense, flapping wings or moving limbs could take extra effort. Creatures might evolve to be gliders instead of active flyers. They could develop massive, broad wings to ride the air currents. Or they might rely on sudden bursts of movement, launching themselves like arrows. Some predators could abandon the sky altogether. If flight became too difficult, they might evolve into tree dwellers or ground hunters. What about pack hunters? Wolves and wild dogs coordinate their attacks using teamwork to take down prey. But in low gravity, coordinating movement could be far harder. If a wolf leaps too far or too fast, it could lose sight of the pack. Prey might use the slow-motion environment to escape in unexpected directions. Would predators evolve new forms of communication to compensate? Perhaps they would rely more on sound, vibration, or even bioluminescent signals. But what if the world had no solid ground at all? If predators hunted in floating environments, they would need entirely new adaptations. Tentacle-like limbs could help them grab and anchor themselves. Suction pads or magnetic grips might replace claws and paws. Their bodies might become long and snake-like, allowing them to twist and propel themselves. Or they could develop explosive bursts of speed, striking before prey has time to react. Aquatic hunters might have an advantage in low gravity. They already use water resistance instead of gravity to move. A shark's ability to glide through water could translate well to a low-gravity sky. But a land-based predator would need to evolve similar efficiency. Could some predators develop gas-filled bladders to hover? Would others evolve jet-like propulsion systems using controlled bursts to move? Perhaps they would have flexible, ribbon-like fins to maneuver through the air. If prey evolved to be faster and more unpredictable, predators would have to keep up. Would they develop sonar-like senses to track movement, or heat detection to find warm-bodied prey in a vast open space? Their eyes might need to change as well. In low gravity, motion might not be as easy to detect. Some predators could develop compound eyes for a wider field of vision. Others might rely on electric fields to sense their surroundings. Over millions of years, evolution would fine-tune these creatures for the ultimate hunt. But what if the environment kept changing? On a world with shifting gravity, predators might have to be highly adaptable. Could they change their body density at will? Would some develop retractable limbs, folding them in for speed and extending them for precision? Or could intelligence become the greatest adaptation? If physical hunting became too difficult, predators might rely on strategy instead. They could set traps, manipulate environments, or even work with other species. Hunting in low gravity could favor intelligence over brute strength. Perhaps pack hunters would evolve hive minds thinking as one, or they might develop tools using rocks, nets, or even natural gases to catch prey. Predators have always been among nature's greatest innovators. On Earth, they evolved from simple ambush hunters into complex strategic killers. On a low-gravity world, they would face entirely new challenges. Some might shrink, using less mass to move more efficiently. Others might grow larger, taking advantage of reduced weight to dominate their environment. Some could become highly specialized, while others could remain adaptable. If life exists beyond Earth, its predators would be unlike anything we have ever seen. They could be floating giants, drifting through alien skies in search of prey. They could be fast-moving hunters, using bursts of energy to strike before vanishing. Or they could be silent stalkers, using patience, intelligence, and perfect timing. Gravity shapes the hunt in ways we take for granted. If that force changes, predators must evolve or perish. And on a world with low gravity, the deadliest hunters may be those that never touch the ground at all. Would their muscles become weaker over time, like astronauts in space? Would they need to return to a high-gravity environment regularly to maintain strength? Could they evolve hollow bones to be lighter like birds? Would their joints and ligaments need extra support to avoid hyperextending? Would sharp claws still be useful, or would suction cups be a better tool? Would creatures rely on air pressure instead of body weight to deliver fatal strikes? If two low-gravity predators fought, would battles last longer because their strikes carry less force? Could they develop barbed limbs to hook into prey and anchor themselves before delivering a killing blow? If prey learned to use the same low-gravity tactics, would the balance of power shift? Could predators become extinct if they failed to adapt quickly enough? Evolution never stops, and survival always finds a way. In the end, low gravity wouldn't stop predators. It would just force them to become something new. A world of slow-motion chases, floating ambushes, and gravity-defying kills might not be science fiction. It could be the future of life beyond Earth. And if we ever encounter alien predators in low gravity, we might not be prepared for what we find.